Fight or flight stress response is just our ability to deal with stress. In a situation back in the day when we lived in the jungles and forests and we were faced with a wild animal or a beast, we would run away or we would fight. I mean, if we were strong and we were brave, we would fight. And our body's response is to, increase the heartbeat, to tighten the muscles, to also dilate our pupils, blood rushes to our limbs, heart rate goes up, it accelerates. This is what would give us the adrenaline, the drive, the speed, the superhuman strength when we get upset and we're like superhuman. Or you can see a child who's had a tantrum. They have this enormous strength. They become like superhuman. How is it possible? How is it possible my little child is so strong? So this is where it comes from. So fight would be basically when we become confrontational, we become aggressive, and we're in this high stress mode. We're reactive. That's more of a fight reaction. When you go into flight, you become more withdrawn. You keep to yourself. Not necessarily that you're not talking or not chatty, but you become withdrawn in your emotional state. You don't necessarily share as much in the state of flight because you would rather escape from it. It's a form of escapism. You numb yourself by watching a lot of TV. You want to escape the stress. You want to not deal with it. And this is just a matter of wiring in our brains. And this happens at a very tender age, between 0 to 7, but even more so between 0 to 5 is very, very important that time. The stress that we encounter in our surroundings, the separation from the mother as we start getting older, all of these things, the relationship that we observe between our parents, our relationship with our parents, our relationship with our siblings, and our entire environment. This becomes like a reflection of how we cope and how we deal. We start to absorb things. When we're 0 to 5 or 0 to 7, we're in something called super learning. When we talk about that state of learning is literally what we are inducing through hypnotherapy to become super suggestible. Children they absorb like sponges. Why? Because they are so suggestible. They take suggestions easily and they are hyper aware of what's happening around them. They are very alert. Freeze is very uncommon, but it does happen in very traumatic situations, like where there is physical abuse, there might be rape, there might be molestation, there might be intense verbal abuse, there might be some sort of trauma in the country, there could be war, a death of a loved one. All of these things can cause us to go into freeze, which is basically becoming so numb and overwhelmed with fear that we don't respond at all, like a deer in headlights. You'll just be like, no response. It's not about one is right or one is wrong or this is better or this is worse. None of that. It's all about where you are and in what direction you can move towards finding more balance, to being able to really come back to a point where your body and your mind completely calm down. So when we are faced with stress, the initial stress, the body will react with fight or flight. The physical reactions that take place in fight or flight are the same, like what I mentioned, with your heart rate going up and your eyes dilating, muscles becoming tense, adrenaline going up, cortisol is released. Cortisol is stress hormone, is released into the whole bloodstream, and there's so many physiological reactions that take place and that make us ready, So either we go into fight or we go into flight, but both require that physiological setup and background for us to be able to act and do something and react to that stress in front of us. If you are a person who leans more towards fight, you will notice that you'll be in high stress. You might be reactive towards people around you, and you might be getting into your relationships might be more in turmoil due to it. And then if you're in flight, you will notice that there's too much of buildup within you. There has not been enough explosiveness. So it's not about really becoming one or the other. It's more about finding the balance. If you are a person that responds to stress by going within and not saying what you feel, keeping it to yourself, and then eventually it starts to build up because that energy needs to be expressed. So it's important to take the time to process your thoughts and feelings. Why is it now more than ever that people are struggling with anxiety? Some of those who never had anxiety in their entire life before, is simply because of this, is our inability to deal with our emotions, our inability to bring our body back to balance. And I don't mean mind, our body. So our body responds with its own intelligence. You have an emotion, you have a thought, there's a threat in front of you, and you react. Fear and all of those networks that are programmed with this fearful situation that you've encountered before go zing, they light up, your entire brain lights up, your neural networks are now ready to go, and you are ready to confront what's in front of you, you're ready to get into battle or a fight. What's important is to break that by simply slowing down, taking a few breaths, to just cut off the stimulus, and to really just say, okay, I seize this moment right now. If it's not a threat to my life, if I'm not being threatened in any way physically, if you're being threatened physically, of course I'm not referring to this video is not applicable for you. I am talking about stresses of daily life. How do we stay in a place of calm? Is by bringing the body to its center, by really taking in the power of your breath, by maximizing that and really slowing your processes down, going from what is a sympathetic process to a parasympathetic process. It's just a shift. It's shifting the vibration of your body. It's shifting your breath. And if you notice, when you go into fight or flight, your breath speeds up. These emotions will make you breathe really fast and very shallow. You won't be taking long and deep breaths. So by simply slowing your breath down, you simply slow your breath down. What you're now doing is you are realigning your body. You're telling your body it's okay. Have your control on your mind and your body simply through this one mechanism, which is so important. You never stop breathing. No matter what, you are continuously breathing. So all you have to do is redirect your awareness to your breath. The stressful situation is not going anywhere, and you have enough time to respond. But now you cut off from the fight or flight, and you come back to a place where you feel safe, secure, where you are completely centered, grounded within yourself. Just breathe in with awareness and breathe out with awareness. And you practice that. You do it right now with me. Take a few breaths in. And exhale. Close your eyes and just breathe in. And exhale. And when you breathe with awareness, I already feel so calm and so centered. I had this hyper energy while I was talking, and now I feel so centered and so grounded. So this works. It was just 3 breaths and I feel a difference. So it's so important that we do this, that we tune in with ourselves, that we really look inward, look to our breath, and really take responsibility. If you are in a stressful state, and if you are genuine in a circumstance or a situation that is stressful, all the more reason you have your wits about you, right? All the more reason you should have access to all of your resources. If you're in a state of fight or flight, if you are stressed out, you are not going to have your resources available to you. Your conscious mind will be fogged with all of this hectic energy, with this real anxious energy. So when you calm down, like a pool, like a lake, when it's completely still, clarity emerges. There is a lot of sense of knowing. You can tap into your intuition. Your intuition is continuously guiding you. And when we start to do that, we make little decisions, little diversions from our path. We would otherwise think this is the normal way to react. We start to choose something different. And that is the beginning of growth, in my opinion. When we really start to make those decisions, we start to become like little policemen, like in our heads, catching ourselves when we do something that we are becoming consciously aware of, that okay, you know what, I do this, I have a tendency to do this, so now the next time I do it, I'm going to be aware. You just say that thought to yourself, and you will notice that you will become aware. The next time you are doing that, or the next time you are feeling that, you will notice it. And that is where your power is. When you notice it, slow down, stop. Okay, you've gone into that mode. Instead of functioning on autopilot, which exists in all of us, you slow yourself down, you take a moment, you breathe, and you decide with conscious awareness how you want to deal with it. Once you're calm, once you've just brought your body back to a centered place, to a grounded place, where you are in complete calm with your breath. So this is a practice that I do, and I would urge you to now look back. If you want, you can write about it, you can send me your notes, you can send me your questions. How did you react to the pandemic, and what is it that it brought up for you? I would love to hear your accounts of fight or flight, and how you dealt with the pandemic. And if you have any questions, concerns, or anything, you can DM me. I'm also on Instagram as @2e_Sigmund, and on Facebook as The Light Within 1111. Alright, take care, and if you like my videos and you like my content, please subscribe and share. Thank you.